Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Bisola, and in today's tutorial I'll be learning how to make this beautiful multicolored bubu. If you're a new subscriber, please don't forget to subscribe.
For this inbuilt neck bubu, we're going to be using this fabric. I'm going to be using this ashoki for the neck, and I'm going to add the design in front, and this is going to be the front and this is going to be the back. So I'm using a direct fabric for it. So now I'm going to fold it out and measure out the so this is it. So the first thing I'm going to do is to measure out the length I need. So the length I'm using for this gown, because the long bubu gown is 58. So I'll be adding sewing allowance, the taping allowance below and the joining. That's going to be adding 1.5. So I'm going to be having 59.5 for this. So I'm going to measure out 59.5. Now I've cut out the length and I have exactly what I need there. So now next thing I'm going to do is to measure out the length of the sleeve. That would be from the mid shoulder to where the sleeve is going to stop. So from the mid shoulder, let's just say half of the shoulder is the person shoulder is 16, and normal sleeve length, if it's going to be cut separately, is going to be 12. So that will be 12 plus 8. 16 divided by 2, because it's going to be is on fold. So that's 8 plus 2. That is if you do not measure from the person's mid shoulder to where the sleeve is stopping. I'm just telling you how you can also get that measurement too. So from that mid shoulder, which is 8 inches, plus 12 inches, there's going to be the length. Depending on wherever your sleeve is going to reach. For my client, is going to be reaching this place, which is going to be 12 inches plus 8, that's 20. So I'm going to measure out 20. That's the first thing you're going to be doing. 20 inches here. So we're adding sewing allowance 1 inch. So that'll be 21. So I'm just going to measure out 21. Then whatever the sleeve length is going to be, whatever you want the sleeve opening to be. For this, I'm okay with 11 inches. But before then, from that place where I measured my sleeve length, I'm going to come down by 1.5. Then for the opening, 11 inches. So from there, I'll measure what I measured before, what I measured earlier, which is 21. So this is 21. So I'm going to connect it down here this way. So the next thing to do now is to measure out the neck. The neck is going to be the width of 3 inches for front and 3 inches width for front and back. But for the depth, for the back, I'm going to be using 2 inches for the back depth. So I'm going to connect this to the slant. Then you come back to where the sleeve ended here. For the sleeves to lay well, you're going to come in by 1 inch. That's just for it to lay well, and connect it to the upper part. I hope the chalk is showing. So just come in by 1 inch and connect it to the upper part, just to ensure that your sleeve lays well when you wear it. So from there where that stops, I'm going to measure this is a free gown, so you can try to use whatever is, but you can use depending on how free you want it to be. But for this client, I'm going to be using 15 inches plus 1 inch sewing allowance, so it's going to be 16. So I'm going to be measuring out 16 inches. So I'm going to measure 16 inches down. How free you want your own to be. So all I did was just to measure the 16 inches down and connect it. So just measure the 16 inches down and connect it. And that's it for that. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it out. So after cutting it out, we're just going to, from the where the neckline stops, the 3 inches width, so we're going to measure. We know we are aware that the neck is an asymmetric neckline. So for the asymmetry, we're going to measure out 2.5 here and just notch it. Then now you can separate the back from the front. So this is the back. So I'm just going to remove it now and work on the front. Sorry, before we remove the back, so you're going to determine where you want your the asymmetry to fall on, whether you want it on the right or on the whether you want it on the right side or on the left side. So depending on where you want it, you just adjust it and cut it out. After determining whether you want it to be on the right side or on the wrong side of your shoulder, so you just connect it from wherever you want it to put it. From that notching, from where we notched earlier, the 2.5, you connect it back to the neckline. So you connected the 2.5 back to the neckline. So you cut it out. So the next thing I'm going to work on is the. So for the front, I'm going to come down. What I want my neck depth to be. For this front, I want my neck depth to be 8 inches. So I'm going to come down by 8 inches and mark it. So this is it. So from that 8 inches, I'm going to come out by half an inch. Now connect it to the V-neck. So now we need to determine our center. We need to know where the center of this fabric is. So it's better you use an iron. So after getting the center, you're going to open it up this way. So I'm going to determine which one, the right side of this fabric and the wrong side of this fabric. So from that center you created and the asymmetry line, I'm going to come out from that center by 2.5. That's to create the asymmetry that we have in the design. So I'll measure from that center, I'm going to measure out 2.5. So is that 2.5, I'll connect to this part. I hope you understand what I explained just now. From that center we created, I'm going to measure 2.5 to connect to the asymmetry at the right side. Whichever side you pick, whether you pick the left side or you pick the right side, to where you want your asymmetry neckline to be. Because if you look at the picture, one side is wider than the other side. So for the wider side, that's what we're trying to create here. You're going to leave the other side the way it is, just the other side that you're doing this to. So from there, we just cut it out. So this is it now. So from that part, I'm just going to notch out just an half an inch. Just half an inch. And that will be fine. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to join the shoulder of the back to the front before we come and cut out the neckline. So I'll go ahead now and join it. So now this is it. I've joined the shoulder. So after joining the shoulder, the next thing you're going to do now is to measure the neck. To know the measurement that is there. That's what I'm going to use to cut the collar. So I'm just going to measure on the neck. So here I have 28 and a half. So I'm going to be adding 1 inch to it. So I'm going to be cutting out 29 and a half. But before cutting out 29 and a half, you need to notch the center of this back. So now this is it. I've notched the center. So I'm going to cut out. I'm going to cut out the which is going to be 29 and a half. So we got 29 and a half and I cut it out. Then you know that one side of this, then the width of the asymmetry is going to be 2.5. What we cut out from the neck is 2.5. We had 10 allowance, which is half an inch. So that's going to be 3 inches. So that's exactly what we have in this ashoke. But for the other side, for the other tip, it's just 1 inch that is there. If you measure what is here for the other side that we did not cut out, the center is just 1 inch that is there. For the other side that we did not cut out here, it's just 1 inch that is there. So I need to cut out whatever is. So I need to reduce that to 1 inch. So I'm going to notch the center of this. Also, I'm going to notch the center and allocate one side for the asymmetry. So this is going to be the asymmetry side, and this is going to be the other side that is just 1 inch. So this other side that is just 1 inch, I'm going to add half an inch for the joining to it. So that's 1.5. So I'm going to cut it out and connect 1.5 here. So that's it. I'm going to cut. So I'm going to cut that out. It's just one side we are cutting out. So you can see now we have this side that is 1 inch and this side that is 3. That is 2.5 plus half, making 3 inches, and this one plus half making 1.5 inches. So we're going to fix it now on the neckline. I'm going to start fixing from the. You are going to pin the center, notch the center to this side. I'm going to fix it that way all around to the neckline. So I'll go to the same machine now and fix it, then come back and show us the final look. So now I've already fixed it. So let me turn to the negative side so you can see it. So I've already fixed it. So you just fix it all around it. Then the half inch that we left earlier, we're going to tuck it in and stitch it down from with that half inch. So this is just it. So that is it for the collar. So that's it for the collar. So the next thing we are going to do is to fix the front design. I'm going to be fixing the front design. So you can either follow the design in the picture, or you can decide to freestyle whichever design you want to have in your home. So just following whatever is in the picture, you can just try to be creative with your design. So whatever you want to freestyle with the design, you go ahead and chalk it out. Whatever you want to design, you go ahead, chalk it out, then cut it out. Then I'll go ahead and stitch it on it. I'll stitch it on it all around. So I'll go and do that now. You will see whatever. So this is it. I fixed the design in front also. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to join it at the sides. So I'm going to tape this in, then join this side and tape the lower part, and that's just all. It's just a very simple simple Bubu gown. So just go ahead now. Tape this. I'll tape the I'll tape this in, then join the sides, and that will be all. So I'll come back and show us. If you want to put pockets there, so you just measure from the shoulder to where 16 is, which is here. I'm going to notch that point. And notch 7 too. The wideness of the pockets, the wideness of the mouth of the pocket is 7, so I'm going to notch 7. So I'm going to repeat the same thing at the second side. I'll measure 16, then notch 7. So this is the finished look. You can see the bead color, you can see the one that is wider and the shorter one. And so this is the complete look of it.
And that's it, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.